Welcome to the lecture series in computer science. We are seeing a series of lectures in the subject Agile Methodologies. We will be discussing on the Agile Manifesto, we will be seeing the Agile principles, as well we will classify the different Agile methods that are available. Now, to start with, as far as today's session contents are concerned, we will be seeing from where did the Agile Manifesto and the principles evolve. Who are the people who are involved in creating or in formulating this Agile Manifesto and this Agile principles? What are the four Agile Manifesto? We will be seeing the values of emphasis in Agile over the conventional development models. We will be seeing the people factors. We will as well see the 12 different Agile principles. We will see the commonalities that are available in the Agile Alliance, and then finally we will list the Agile methods that are available, and then we will conclude this session. Now, from where did this Agile Manifesto and the principles evolve? In the year 2001, there were 17 software developers who met in the lodge at Snowbird Ski Resort, Wasatch Mountains of Utah. Utah is a place which is located in western USA, and they formulated the Agile Manifesto and the 12 core Agile principles. From these core Agile principles, several Agile methodologies have emerged, and they include a Scrum framework, DSDM, Dynamic System Development Method, Crystal, Extreme Programming, which is also called as XP, Adaptive Software Development, and Feature Driven Development. As well, new flavors were also continued to emerge as part of this Agile principles. Now, let us see the people, the software developers, whoever were the mentors or whoever formulated this Agile Manifesto as well this Agile principles. So, here I said there were 17 people who were involved in the formulation of Agile Manifesto as well the Agile principle. The first and foremost person is called as Ken Beck, and he is one of the founder for this Agile method called Extreme Programming, which was also called as XP. The second person is said to be Mike Biddle. Third one said to be Ari Van Bennekum. Fourth, Alistair Cockburn. Fifth, Ward Cunningham. Sixth, Martin Fowler. Seventh, James Greening. Eighth, Jim Highsmith. Ninth, Andrew Hunt. 10th, Ron Jeffries. 11, John Kern. 12, Brian Merrick. 13, Bob Martin. 14, Stephen Miller. 15, Jeff Sutherland. 16, Ken Scobber. 17, Dave Thomas. And these are the 17 people who are responsible in formulating this Agile Manifesto as well the 12 core Agile principles. Here, apart from this, they have written many different research articles on this Agile methodology. Then, now let us see what an Agile Manifesto is. The Agile Manifesto is a document that identifies 4 key values and 12 principles that its authors believe software developers should use to guide their work. Here, as a first thing, we will see we are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others do it. That is, here we in the sense, when you could see the framework as Scrum framework or the other methodologies, models like feature driven development. My dear students, what is the difference between a framework and a model and a method? A method is a model wherein you follow a particular flow, that is a model, whereas in the case of framework it is tailor made, it is customizable. here Scrum is a framework. So in Scrum you have certain roles called as Scrum Master, team member and the product owner. Scrum Master, he is similar to a person called as project manager in your traditional life cycle model, but he is not project manager. A Scrum Master, he used to do hand holding of the team member. He will be part of the team, maybe an experienced person working with Scrum. So here the first statement denotes we are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others to do it, which means he will as well be involved and he will help others also to complete the task that has been assigned. Then next is, through this work we have come to value. So the value gets increased, that is, while there is value in the items on the right, we value the items on the left more. My dear students, before seeing the items in the right and the items in the left, we will see what are the values, agile values that are adopted based on this Agile Manifesto. So as far as values are concerned, we have 4 different values. My dear students, it is a very important question as far as your interview point of view, as far as your future studies with respect to agile methods are concerned. So you are supposed to remember the 4 agile values. It is highly mandatory, so you are supposed to remember this. First agile value is said to be individual and interaction. Second agile value is said to be working software. Third agile value is said to be customer collaboration. Fourth agile value is said to be responding to change. So these are the 4 different agile values. Now as a first agile value, what did I say? It is individual and interaction. As far as individual and interaction is concerned, what does it mean? In agile methodology, when you are going to work with agile methodology, an agile model, when do people go in, when do an organization move into this agile model? It is when there is a change in requirements, when there is a constant change in requirements, or when there is a requirement creep. What do you mean by requirement creep? The requirements keeps on changing, keeps on accumulating and it gets changed. So when you have a requirement creep, so in that scenario, the people, whoever is part of this agile team, should be highly communicative, should collaborate with each other, should be highly interactive, which means the more and more you interact, the more and more you collaborate with your team, the more and more fruitful the results will be. So here as a first value, it states the individual, he should be highly interactive, he should be highly collaborative. Now as a second value, you are supposed to give the working software, whereas in the case of traditional life cycle model, which you would have studied in a subject called software engineering, there you would have delivered the software only after completion of all the phases, whereas here you are supposed, as far as working with agile model is concerned, the incremental delivery is given, small releases, delivery is given in by means of small releases. You do not accumulate the entire software and you do not give the entire software as a whole, wherein you give it as with small releases. That is called as working software. So it is an incremental delivery or small release delivery, or when you could take up one of the framework called as Scrum framework, you call it as, you give it in terms of minimum marketable feature, and in short it is called as MMF. So anything and everything you give it to the customer every 15 days once or every 30 days once, you give it to the customer a working product, a miniature, a small working software. So that becomes a second value. The third value is said to be customer collaboration. My dear students, again to compare with the traditional method, in the traditional method the customer will not be participating with the development team, they will not be having a frequent interaction with the development team, they will come into picture only after the entire software has been developed, whereas In the case of agile model, working with agile model, the customer should be part of the agile team, which means all customers, they may not be free enough. So if they are not free, they are supposed to recruit customer representatives. Customer representatives are people who are recruited by the customer. They are also called as a product owner. So those customer representatives will be part of this agile team. So those customer representative has to collaborate, has to interact and collaborate with the agile team. Such a thing you call it as customer collaboration, which is said to be a third value. Then what is the fourth value? My dear students, I said initially during the initial slide, when do we go in for this agile model? When there is a change in requirements, when there is a requirement creep, when the requirements are not clear, when the requirements are not known prior hand, we go in for this agile model. So when there is a change in requirement, the team members, the agile team members, they are supposed to respond to change. They should be dynamic, they should be enthusiastic to work well. They should not be a lump person wherein they should be so interactive, they should be full, they should have full kind of energy with them, and then only they can respond to change. A person, a team member, whoever is responding to change will be part of the agile team. So the four agile values are individual and interaction, working software, customer collaboration, and responding to change. Now let us see what are the values that are available in each and every method. First is, you have a method called as Kanban value. As far as a Kanban value is concerned, you have values such as agreement, leadership, respect, and understanding. In terms of agreement, what do you mean by agreement? So you sign up a negotiation, you sign up a contract with the customer, and you work based on the customer's requirements. So you deliver whatever is needed for the customer. Then leadership. Leadership, what does it mean? As I said, in terms of Scrum, you have a Scrum Master. Here you may have a Chief Architect. So that person will take in a lead role, will see to that the team is so agile, so dynamic, so energetic, so enthusiastic to work on, and it is the responsibility of the leader to get the working software, small deliverables. Third is respect. Everyone should respect each other, then only there should not be any sort of ego within anyone, then only people will be interacting well, people will be collaborating well. Fourth is understanding. You need to understand fully whatever the customer gives the requirement, whatever the requirement is, whatever your leader says. So you are supposed to understand. If you are not able to understand, you are supposed to raise then and there the issue, so that you will be explained it in a better way. So these are the four values available in a Kanban method. The other framework you call it as Scrum framework. In Scrum you have Scrum values. One is commitment, second one is courage, third one is focus, fourth is openness, fifth is respect. So all these values are part of the agile values, which is again part of this Agile Manifesto. My dear students, you saw about an Agile Manifesto. In the Agile Manifesto you saw about the agile values, 4 different agile values, that is common values for all the agile model. In a common value, when it gets to split into each and every individual model, you have each and every values for a model or a framework. So as far as Scrum is concerned, commitment, each and every individual developer, the team should be committed. Courage, they should come up upfront, they should say that this is correct, this is wrong, this is the issue that I have, this is the issue wherein I have solved this issue in this manner. So they should be courageous enough to disclose their views. Focus, they should focus on the changing requirements. Openness, they should be open to queries posed by the customer or the customer representative. Respect, again there should be respect among all the team members. Then next is the XP value, extreme programming values. One is communication, second is courage, third is feedback, fourth is simplicity, fifth is respect. As far as communication is concerned, when you could see a session on extreme programming, you will be seeing a technique that is used in extreme programming, which is highly important as far as any sort of examination is concerned. The technique that is used in extreme programming is called as pair programming. Pair programming is one wherein a single logic of code will be accessed by two different programmers at the same instance of time. When two different programmers are going to access the single logic of code, then they need to interact among themselves, they need to communicate among themselves. So that becomes one of the value in terms of extreme programming. Second is courage. Again, as far as this courage is concerned, how do you represent yourself? If there is an issue, you are supposed to bring out the issue then and there, resolve it then and there. You should not put it within yourself. Feedback, you need to get frequent feedback on the frequent small releases that you give, because when you could work with this extreme programming model, you will be giving smaller releases. So for each and every small release, the customer, you need to get feedback from the customer. So based on the feedback, you need to revamp and you need to rework if required. Fourth is simplicity. Again, as I said in the earlier values, there should not be any sort of ego based team, it should be egoless team, and you should be simple enough to address anything and everything. Respect, again there should be respect among the team members. Now let us see the value of emphasis in Agile over the conventional development models. As far as this particular value is concerned, we saw in one of the point the value in left are addressed the most when compared to the value in the right. What does it mean? I said I will explain it shortly. Here it is. In the left side we speak about this Agile development model, in the right side we speak about this conventional development model. In the Agile development model, we have the individuals and interaction, which is nothing but we have listed all the values with respect to Agile development model. We will as well list few things with respect to conventional development model. So value in the left are addressed the most, individual and interaction over process and tools, which means here it is people oriented, there in conventional model it is process oriented. Then as far as the delivery of working software is concerned, here we work based on small releases, based on small deliveries, based on small increments, based on small feature releases. So it is based on the delivery of working software there. And as far as Agile model is concerned, we don't document it, we document only whatever is required, whatever is needed. Whereas in the case of traditional conventional model, we do comprehensive documentation, we do anything and everything, whatever we do, we first document and then we work out the model. Third value is the customer collaboration. Here you need to collaborate, you need to interact, you need to be free with the customer. So the more and more you collaborate, the more and more you interact with the customer, the more and more you can get the requirements from the customer, more and more you can satisfy the needs of the customer. There in traditional development model, in the conventional model, it is based on the contract negotiation. Here as well you will be signing the contract, but here the contract will change. As far as Agile model is concerned, the contract will change based on the changes in the requirement, whereas over there in the conventional development model it is a fixed contract and you will be making negotiations on the contract that has been already drafted. Then we have responding to change, which means due to change in requirements we respond to the change. There you follow a set of agreed plan, there is no change at all, so following a set of agreed plan. So these are the four values of emphasis in Agile over the conventional development model. Now let us see the people factors, competence level. Each of the team member should be competent in their specialized functional roles. Common focus, all members should have similar commitment to end product and its characteristics. collaboration, mutual trust and respect to the rest of the team should be given. This is expected to make a Agile team capable of self-organization. Then decision making. Members should use rational logic to iron over differences that arise and achieve consensus decisions. The team's decision making process should be free from external pressures, except of course the project constraints known in advance. Then fuzzy problem solving ability. This capability based on sound common sense and open mind to consider differing viewpoints among members, which will enable good decision making by the team without any undue delay. Now my dear students, we have seen the Agile Manifesto, we have seen the Agile values, and we have as well seen the values with respect to each and every model or the framework. Now let us see the 12 different Agile principles that are available, that are formulated by how many software developers? How many people formulated this Agile principles? It is 17 people who formulated the Agile Manifesto, 4 Agile values and 12 Agile principles. And as far as the first Agile principle is concerned, our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. My dear students, before we could see this Agile principles, it is mandatory that you are not supposed to change the statement whatever is being given by those 17 people. It is whatever the statement is, the same statement should be made available when you are going to write for any of the examinations. So the first principle is our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. What does it mean? As I said, you give all sorts of small releases, small deliverables, incremental deliveries, small feature releases. That is the idea behind this first principle. The second principle, welcome changing requirements even late in development. Agile processes harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. What does it mean? Here, till the end of the project, even when the change comes, when you are in 30th sprint as far as Scrum framework, even at that time when there is a change in requirement, you are supposed to respond to change. That is called as welcoming changing requirements, even late in development. The third principle denotes deliver working software frequently, from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, with a preference to the shorter time scale. Again, my dear students, when you could see the framework as Scrum framework, there they will be working with technique called a sprint. Sprint is an iterative process wherein the duration of sprint will be 15 days to 30 days. So every 15 days you are supposed to show a working software to the client, to the customer. So this third point denotes deliver working software frequently, from a couple of weeks to a couple of months. So the fourth Agile principle denotes business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. That is, who are the business people? The customers. Customer is the person who gives business. A customer by definition is called as, a customer is the most superior part of an organizational unit, because he is the person who is going to give business, he is the person who is going to pay the organization, wherein in turn the developers get their salaries. So business people and developer must work together daily throughout the project. Then the fifth principle denotes build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need and trust them to get the job done. As I said, when a person is part of this Agile team, he should be dynamic, he should be energetic, he should be enthusiastic, he should be motivated enough so that he should be interactive, he should be communicative, he should be collaborative. Then only he can shine well with respect to an Agile model. So that denotes this fifth principle. The sixth denotes the most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation. Again, it is more than the telephonic or the mobile conversation. When you have a face-to-face discussion, you can gain more. You can jolt down the points. What do you mean by jolting down? Whatever the customer says, the responsibility of the XP coach as far as the extreme programming model is concerned, the project manager is called as an XP coach or an agile coach. So the responsibility of the XP coach to jot down the points where he is supposed to take down those points, and those points, my dear students, have it in mind, those points will be in a language called as business language, and when it should be given to the development team, it should be in terms of the technical language. So always the face to face conversation will be better. The next agile principle is working software is the primary measure of progress. The more and more the working software that you give it to the client, the more and more progressive your project is. The more and more you can adapt to changes, more and more you can satisfy the requirements of the client. Now, next principle denotes agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsors, developers and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. Here everything, the process by itself works with a continuous development, a sustainable development, and here the sponsors, developers and users, sponsors are said to be even the product owners, they should maintain a constant pace indefinitely. The other agile principle speaks about continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility. So technical excellence and have a very good design, then because you give many different working softwares, so when you are going to give working software, you will be revamping the designs often based on the requirements, based on the requirement creep you revamp the design. So when you have a good design, it enhances agility. So next agile principle denotes about the simplicity, the art of minimizing the amount of work which is not done. My dear students, make a note of it, the art of minimizing the amount of work which is not done, it is essential. It should be simple. Next principle denotes the best architecture, requirements and designs emerge from self-organizing teams. What does it mean? I said in a team you should be interactive, you should be collaborative, you should be communicative enough, you should be highly communicative. Then only such a team, and you should work in a streamlined manner, you should work in an organized manner. Such a team you call it as a self-organized team. The next principle denotes at regular intervals the team reflects on how to become more effective, then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. Initially any team member, they will be somewhat lethargic, they might be new to the team, but when they get gelled up in the agile team, then they know how to get molded with the agile team, and this will be monitored by a person like agile coach or an XP coach or the scrum master or an architect or so on. So how the individuals get gelled with the team matters a lot. These are some of the agile principles. Now let us see the list of agile models that are available. One is extreme programming, XP, second one is Scrum framework, third one is feature driven development, FDD, fourth one is DSDM, dynamic system development method, which uses a rule called as Moscow rule. It is common in Russia. Moscow denotes must have requirements, should have requirement, could have requirement, won't have requirements at this time, but the requirements are required at the near future. Then you have Crystal, you have adaptive software development, you have lean development. These are some of the agile models that are available. Now let us summarize this session. We saw about from where does this agile manifesto and the principles evolve. We saw who are the people who are involved in formulating this agile manifesto and agile principles. We saw the 4 different agile manifesto and the values of emphasis in agile over the conventional development models. We saw the people factors. We saw 12 different agile principles, and then we listed the agile methods. Thank you.